After a long absence from the public eye, I am here on my own property. Well, it is rented, but I paid the rent, so it's mine as far as that goes. But I want to take this occasion to tell a little story about how I learned to respect a very well-known evangelist. Deep down, I want to say he's a famous evangelist, but I've talked with several people in recent months about this man, and they didn't know who he was. So I realized what a level of ignorance there is concerning men of God in the world today, especially the United States. But we have an information overload in our country, and I am making this video from a place in North Georgia, and I have told several family members and a few others, my committee members, that where I've been living lately, I can walk out in the front yard and see the highest summit in the state of Georgia. Now, that may not sound like much to some people because they don't realize that North Georgia is still in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachian chain, and Brasstown Bald, which is viewable indeed, from my front yard where I've been living for some months now, although I won't be there too much longer probably. I enjoy going out in the mornings and taking a look to see if Brasstown Bald is visible. It is much higher than one of the peaks which was very important to me in my youth, which is High Knob in Wise County, Virginia, which is very close to Norton, and more importantly for me, to Coburn, where my grandparents lived. And I have vivid recollection of that from when I was a child growing up until I was 11 years old in Wise County, Virginia. But becoming a Christian at the tender age of 21 while I was in the United States Army during the Vietnam era, I have since become an evangelist, a teacher, a preacher, a missionary, and having undergone some hardships in recent years, which spans more than a decade, I am very actively seeking and working on getting back into ministry in a wider aspect. Although I've never been totally inactive, even in my worst moments, there have been times when I was around a lot more people, and then there were times of, we used to call it retreat, where I was around a lot fewer people, just fewer people, and a lot less people, I should have said. And this is one of those times, but I have recently started a website, or developed a website, that is called Mendeleev.com. Mendeleev, like the name of the man who came up with the periodic table for the elements. And one of the things that I wanted to say, and this is the motive for my making this video today, is how I learned that Benny Hinn, evangelist of worldwide fame for many people. When I was a missionary in Rome, Italy, I actually ended up being pastor of 2 congregations. As soon as I could, I turned the pastoral responsibilities of the Italian-speaking congregation that I pioneered over to an Italian, Pino Fiano, we called him. He's now known as Giuseppe Fiano, and he's a minister in Brazil in South America. And also I was asked to pastor an English-speaking congregation in Casapoloco near the airport, the major airport in Rome, Italy. And during that time, I met a man named Bill Chan. I had the pleasure, the privilege of baptizing Bill, as I did of Piano Giuseppe, or I have a difficulty calling him Giuseppe. Everyone knew him as Pino. I baptized Pino Fiano, and his mother and father in the Italian congregation. And I can well remember the first time that that this famous evangelist, and I say he's famous because he certainly was famous for me, and I thought everybody should know who Benny Hinn is. But the thing is that Benny Hinn had never done any major meetings in Rome, Italy, and he wanted to do one. Well, since I was a pastor among numerous other pastors in Rome at the time, I was approached with the request that I participate in a campaign that Benny Hinn would conduct in Rome. Well, I agreed to do that, and I invited all the people in both the congregations for which I was responsible. And two of the men who were pretty key in both congregations, both the Italian-speaking, the Italian language congregation, and the English language congregation. The Italian was Romeo Fiano, who was Pino's father, who had a Jewish father and an Italian Catholic mother by origin. They were members of my congregation. I baptized both of them. And also Bill Chan, who was from Hong Kong, but who had been born and raised a Buddhist in his Chinese culture, later became a Catholic. And then when he began working for the United Nations, he got the opportunity to come. He could have taken his choice of several places, but being a new Catholic, he decided that he would accept the offer to come to work for the United Nations Food Program in Rome, Italy, because he said he'd be closer to the Pope and he would be closer to God. And I met Bill when I assumed the pastorate of Casapoloco Church in the town called Casapoloco, and I baptized Bill, and he was a genuine man of God, very sincere in his faith and very, very serious in all his conduct. But these two men I invited to Benny Hinn's meeting. I was really concerned when I went to that meeting because I was afraid that something would happen to my young believers. Romeo Fiano, whose father had been Jewish, his mother had been Catholic, and he had come to faith through my ministry, and Bill Chan, he and his wife, and they had come to an evangelical kind of faith, every member priesthood, as we believe in the Protestant and the evangelical faith. I was concerned that something might happen that would offend them in the meeting with Benny Hinn. Well, we went to the meeting, and I was near the back of the building. It was in downtown Rome in the historic section, and both Bill Chan and Romeo Fiano answered the altar call. And I thought, oh no, something bad's going to happen here that's going to hurt their faith. And I didn't see either one of them after the service because they'd gone down front. I myself didn't go down front. But later, a day or two later, I talked to them on the telephone, seems to me, and both of them had gone down for healing. And my worries were over. They both claimed that they had been instantly healed of stomach problems during that meeting. And I looked to heaven and I said, oh God, I believe that what has happened has been you. I am so sorry that I doubted you. And I doubted that a man like Benny Hinn could come to Rome, Italy, and supply my church members with something which up to that point I had not been able to do. And their experience there did not hurt them. On the contrary, I think that it helped them in their faith. And I want to give praise to God for that today with this video. And also, God keeps working with us.